You've made it. Welcome, guys. It's Astrology and Alchemy with Sarah and Matt. Maybe he's there. Maybe he's there. I don't know where your square is.
I'm here. Well, yeah, whatever it
You're
is.
there.
I'm just happy to be back. I feel like I know you were on a couple times where I haven't, so I feel like it's been ages since I've been on here with everyone. So hello, everybody. Happy to be back.
It's so good to be back with the both of us here. We are ready. Boom. We're going into fall. We're going into September. I don't know. How's the weather where you are at?
We're getting another dose of it's like the late summer heat. So you can definitely tell it's like dark early in the morning and all that, but we're like in the 90s again, so it's nice and hot. Then we'll get a little dose of fall, and then October will be really, really hot, and then it's beautiful though. Like we have like our fall here is like 3.5 months long, so it's like really gorgeous. So I'm not gonna complain, but I hate winter, even though it's only like 6 weeks here. So I don't look forward to. I don't look forward to winter coming, but it's all good.
I don't really look forward to winter either, even though it's beautiful. I just don't like to drive in it. I just don't like to drive in it. So, you guys, hopefully we have small talked our way through the advertisements that YouTube and other of the streaming platforms have on there, depending on whether or not you're a paid subscriber. Though, if you want to be able to download us for free, you can check us out on Odyssey Radio, and you can check out all sorts of cool podcasts and stories and just narrations and cool things that they have on that platform as well. But you can also check us out every Tuesday at 9 p.m. Now, last week, you guys had to join us on social media. We're on every social media platform, really, to get your daily updates, because we weren't here last week. We were doing stuff. It was my birthday. People were dying. People were going under the knife. We were having all kinds of crazy life things.
2 weeks ago, I actually was thinking, this has happened twice in my life now, but I actually was like going to get medical news, and I actually thought like there was like chance I was going to get like news that I was going to be dead in a couple months, and it all ended up being nothing. So
And it's not like
I went
hypochondria.
from emergency room to like still no answers, but I'm here and I'm still alive. So here we go.
Well, yeah, dang. And I feel like I really despise medical issues and like not knowing what's going on with the body, and yet feeling and knowing intuitively that something's up. So I feel a little bit of that pain. But for those of you guys that missed us, we missed you too. We did. I miss being here. So thank you for joining us tonight. Be sure and share with your friends and loved ones, and join us every Tuesday. I have the breakdown. Now, it's not even the end of the month yet, but it did sneak up on us. It's tomorrow. So if you're joining us on social media, I'm going to do kind of my monthly sneak as I prep for the month. Matt usually doesn't sneak ahead.
Yeah, I don't.
No, which, I really appreciate that honesty, but I do. I'm a Virgo. So I do sneak ahead, and I look and I plan and I write it all out, and I kind of have an Excel spreadsheet that I share with all of my fellow witches and friends and family members to help prepare us. So if you guys are joining us for the first time, get out a piece of paper. What are you going to bring any divination tools tonight, Matt? Are you doing any?
I always got my handy dandy steampunk. I should actually, now that we're getting to the fall, I should bring out the Halloween ones, but steampunk's the deck that I have the best like energy with. So that's the one I go with. Mary Beth's asking about the kittens. Yes. So like 2 weeks ago, I had a pregnant cat that met me as I left work. Then I go back to my car and actually find that out of the whole giant parking lot, this cat actually left like dead mice like around my car, which Sarah will know this. We have this whole ongoing thing with like Blythe and cats. And so I took the cat home, and she was pregnant, and we thought it would be weeks before she had the babies, but she was massively malnourished. So she had the kittens. And unfortunately, we lost one. And out of the 4 that are left, they're not out of the woods because of how malnourished she was. But the other 4 are going so far. So far, so good. But
man, I wish I lived
the cutest
near
one,
you.
the one that I like gravitated towards, and I'm like, this is one I'm going to keep. That's one.
Died. Well, I hate to say it, but maybe it's that old wives' tale, like that when you buy plants and they die, they're taking some of your ailment with them. Maybe that kitten took your ailment and it
Well,
died.
I do really believe, even the way the mom was acting, I do believe there was something wrong with that cat. They say that, sometimes like they know early on that
Creatures
there's just
know.
something wrong, and so yeah, it was just that's why I kind of gravitated towards it. It was kind of like the one that was not getting cared for as much as the others and all that kind of deal. So I kind of felt bad for it.
That is sad. Ah, I need 2 kittens. My boys want cats for the outside because we have a garage where the mice eat the inside of the car. So I would
Yeah.
love to take a few kittens off your hands. However, you're hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of miles away, but that's okay.
Yeah.
We'll maybe figure it out.
Okay.
But we do want kitten pictures, Matt. We need the
Yes.
kitten pictures. And
I will
Katie
have to
says,
do that. They're
man,
still very much covered up. She's really. I think she was actually somebody's pet that they dropped off once she got pregnant because she's very, very comfortable with humans. Like she nuzzles in, she lets you pet her even there with the babies. But when you come in, she like
isn't
covers
that
them all up.
sad?
Like she covers them all up right away, so you can't really get good pictures of them because
Oh,
she's
they're her
protective that way. But she
babies.
lets you can sit there and pet her while she's with the babies.
They're her
But yeah,
babies.
she
Oh,
won't she won't let you see the babies.
gosh dang it, I love it. Just a little kitten squeal. Meow, meow,
Yep.
meow. Oh,
Although
okay.
we have this whole theory about like Blythe and how like right around the time we did that show, I'm having all these cat things happen. So it's really kind of creepy. Yet another
Yes.
like I'm surrounded by cats now.
Man, it's a thing. It's a thing. And my 2 boys, they want to have little cats that they can, you know, I don't know. It's like Milo and Otis, I guess. But anyway,
And people
um,
named Blythe and this and the um just the name Blythe keeps coming up too, which is another.
in all sorts of weird ways. We had kind of
Yeah.
okay, guys. Hope you have your pen and paper. You've been given long enough. It's been 5 minutes. So get your drinks, sit your butts down, and let's get ready. Today, we had all sorts of stuff happen. I can't reiterate what has happened because I didn't keep it on my Excel spreadsheet. I kept write it up to tomorrow, Sarah. Keep it organized. So we're going to start with tomorrow, Wednesday, August 31st. It is the last day of August, guys. And it only has one thing as far as movements happening, a lot of consistency with just 1 or 2 things happening all week long. And what's going to be happening is a moon movement, and that is the moon entering into Scorpio.
Oh,
How do you
you hit the
feel?
wrong one there. I think you wanted to hit that one.
Oh, did I? Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
Yes,
All
there we
right,
go.
so so Scorpio, it's always funny these water signs and I think it has to deal with water and the fact that I don't have water. Whenever I comment on water signs, I seem to like piss off the water folks in chat. But Scorpio I think is what so the analogy I use it for Scorpio is like river water that you see what's on the surface and you see the stream going down this way, but that doesn't mean the currents underneath aren't doing like weird and wild stuff. Scorpio is very intense water and it doesn't show. Like Scorpio's got a great poker face. So there's like lots of emotional intensity and it won't necessarily show it directly. And so when I see moon in Scorpio, that is emotional. Now again, remember the moon changes every 2 days, so this is very fleeting, very quick. This isn't like a Pluto thing or something that's very profound. But I would say this is emotional energy that is very intensely felt, but it's not going to be directly expressed. So this is like one of those where people that are attuned to like picking up on hints and things, that's be attuned for that. If you're clueless like me and miss all those things, it's not good. But yeah, so this is there's a lot of emotional intensity that'll start with this, but it's not going to be directly expressed. It's not like a Aries or a Leo or something that's just going to come out and tell you how they're feeling.
Like we need any more of that intense, indirect expression. Because there's been a lot about, and the last week, really, there has been a lot of angst, frustration, emotional diversity, all sorts of things, great transformative change. So here we are, Wednesday, last day of the month. It's going to be feeling in a way that is a scorpion. Is it going to bite you in the front? Is it going to sting you in the back? You don't necessarily hear it coming, man, how do you prepare for this? The poker face, I think, is a really, really, really good thing to mention. If you want to pull a card, I'm always just going to it's going to be one of those benefits of joining us in the chat room where I'm able to show what cards I pull. Maybe we pull the same ones.
Be interesting if we do. Nope.
What did you get?
The sun. Clarity.
Ooh.
Which
What
I'd say the sun is not a very, the hermit fits Scorpio much better. I don't think the sun fits Scorpio very well. So that's kind of an interesting one for me to pull.
Well, but I like them together because what you see and then what's on the inside. The recluse hermit going within to find that, searching with his little lantern, and then the sun being something that, is so bright you can't even look directly at it and that you can get burnt out if you're not careful. I had written to protect your eyes and face. So I
Ooh,
think that's kind of interesting.
interesting. That is interesting.
Right? I don't know why I put that, but I did. So oftentimes, guys, in that divination space, I will also, scribble sigils, or we'll pull divination from different sources, or we'll even try, Pandora and having random music playing in the background and see what comes up to be going along with our music things. And this is, as Katie says, kind of pull from your own deck. She's got a Golden Girls deck. How cool is that? See what you get.
I like the
See
Golden
what it
Girls.
means. I have a
My favorite deck that I have my favorite deck that I've seen that I don't have is your Alice in Wonderland one. I'm gonna get that.
it's an oracle deck, so it's kind of
Yeah,
different, but I love it, love it, love it, love it. It is good. We should use that one day. Okay. Guys, Thursday, write it down. Something big. I say something big because I'm interested to see how you react to this.
okay.
I see two I see I see two fires happening in a way that's like expanding. So I see this as like I remember my dad bringing home the airbags. He worked at a Ford motor plant. He would bring home the old airbags and they, hide them under things and then they would explode. And I mean, it would really explode under like a tire or under something and it just would catch you off guard. It was crazy. That's kind of the image that I got the moment that I felt this energy. But Thursday, September 1st, the opening of September, it is Mars in Gemini. So that fighting, fiery planet in Gemini, two-faced air. Sextile Jupiter, planet of gimme, 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 Chris Farley, in Aries.
This is interesting. So first I
Right?
want to add is this is very Mars just went into Gemini, but Mars is going to be retrograde for a long time in Gemini. So Mars usually only hangs out for like 2 months in a sign. Mars is going to be in Gemini for I think like a year or close to a year. So we're going to have Mars in the energy of, kind of social butterfly, extroverted, very verbal, trying to figure out what we're going to do for a very long time. So we're going to be in a phase of a lot of, since Mars is very forthcoming and energetic, we're going to have a lot of this extroverted
Arguments, battles.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of air, people talking. So in this case, sextile is synergy, and then Jupiter is opportunity, and Aries is impulsive, not really thinking things through, very aggressive. So we have action, kind of extroverted, and it's having synergy with impulsive and opportunity. So I see this as, maybe this is where you're kind of with the fire. I see this as like activity squared. So lots of both people talking about things they're going to do and things actually getting done. But keep in mind, whenever it's Aries, stuff's going to get done, but it's not thought through. So it's good for getting things done, but it might not be the best stuff to get done because it's action for action's sake. And that's not always good. At least from my Capricorn viewpoint, it's not always good. So,
Well, and I like that. Kind of interesting today. The word that we were looking at in neurolinguistics was rushed. Rushed. And like the sounds that you're making, what it means, the implied movement. A lot of times that it's water, but it's also like a quick walking, that it can be a haste with your hands, like just kind of this really interesting movement that it does almost imply like a current that you can't stop. But it is opportunistic. If you go with it, you're familiar, you're using it positively, you're maybe able to see which way you're flowing. I guess I get a little nervous over seeing some of these social conflicts because everything is micro as well as macro. So this is not only going to be things in your personal life, all of us, generalized speaking, like these discontent arguments and conflicts, kind of these battles that we're having, kind of feeling like they're being inflated and in a way that is going to lead to impulsive decisions.
I want to just add, because there were some questions in the chat over that activity squared thing. So what I see here is you have a lot of talking about things that people are, they're very verbally about what they're considering doing. And then with Jupiter, it's like, I'm thinking of maybe going to Mexico, and you get a call like in 5 minutes about a timeshare thing in Mexico. It's like one of these things of people are thinking of doing something, and then opportunity is just going to like fall into their lap to do it. And then it'll feel like, oh, it's meant to be, when it just might be this just random opportunity, just opening it up. So there's just, so I just feel this is going to fuel just a lot of activity.
Interesting, guys. Serendipitous, but also a synchronicity. And how much, spiritual jargon and worth are you going to put into that action for action's sake? I love that. And then we kind of see you had the poker face, something emotional squeaking in there. Then you have, as Katie in the chat room sharing, the Oddball Entropy. What a good band name. Oddball Entropy. That's our band name for the day. Thursday, September 1st, opens the month with kind of this. I imagine a bouncy house with a bunch of kids and like the one bully in there just like double bouncing people out of there. Just pow, pow. Kids breaking their shoulders and stuff. Ruth said, but what about love? That comes later in the week. It's not going to necessarily start at the beginning of September. But let's do it. So we did Thursday. What divination are we going to pull for Thursday real quick before we hit Friday? Ooh, okay.
One of my least favorite cards to ever get.
What is it? 3 of Swords?
10 of Swords.
Oh, 10 of Swords.
The card of defeat, and I don't like losing. Or at least I view this as the card of defeat.
Resolution, conclusion.
It's not good conclusion, though. I mean, it got...
Everyone's dead. It's over
exactly.
now.
Exactly.
It's over now.
Six of Cups, I think, is actually good. I always view that as like the card of... So we got the card of nostalgia with the card of defeat. So I view that as you're beaten and you're just wishing it was like it was in the past. If only it could be like it was 3 years ago. Because
this doesn't look like my parents' divorce. Man, that is crazy. What a crazy energy. Okay, here we go. That is Thursday, and we're stepping out even farther. We're going to know how this really starts to impale us. What? That's not the word we want to use, Sarah. Friday, September 2nd. It's going to be 922022. Numerology people are going to freak out all over the world. And why do I say that? Just because anything that has consecutive numbers always freaks people out. 2 things are happening on the first Friday of the month, Labor Day weekend, if you will. Prepare for it. The first thing is, Mercury in Libra, speaking, sound, communication, and Libra, trying to weigh both sides, heart and mind, opposing Jupiter in Aries.
So opposite is tension. So here you have your thoughts and communication in this nice balanced diplomatic space. And it has tension with these, again, this opportunity, impulsive, quick opportunity coming in. So I view this as the energy is trying to be diplomatic in how you approach things with others, but what's actually happening on the ground, the activity on the ground is working against that. So it's like the person in the room that's trying to calm everything down while like shit's blowing up all around you. So that's like your tension. So it's like trying to keep the lid on the pot from boiling over. So
the lid. What a really interesting word and space to use in that, because put a lid on it. Everybody knows the dice are loaded. And I had shared that last week too, but I heard it twice today. Bless me, sorry. Oh, I tried to hold the first one in and I didn't get the second one. Sorry. Thank you. That Mercury in Libra, this is it's a song. It's music to me. It's hearing things and trying to hear both sides and weighing the heart and mind and like, I should do this or I should do that. Like I kind of think about me personally. This is like, my dad struggling to put his wife into long-term care because she's really struggling, but he's also terminally ill. So like, what does he do in the last bit of his life? Like, you're doing this or you're doing that. But Jupiter in Aries, trying to put a lid on something that's boiling over is not necessarily going to be the right thing. You've got to know exactly what to do and how to use that energy. Hmm.
Yeah, I feel like
What?
even though these are opposite, like you picture like a teeter totter or something, I feel like the Jupiter and Aries energy is much stronger than the Mercury and Libra. So I feel like the diplomacy side might try to calm things down, but I feel like that combo of Aries and Jupiter together is just going to eventually just steamroll those diplomatic efforts. That's
Yeah.
my view of it.
I think of absorption is really going to be the magic there. It's like putting the wood spoon over the top of your boiling pot of pasta, keeps it from boiling over. Like there's these weird things with the meniscus of how to keep pressure and tension and regulate it. It's going to be a matter of knowing the pressure point and what you're made of, like the wood, the absorption. That magic is so complex. I don't even know much about that kind of magic, and that's going to be the kind of magic that we're working on Friday, as you use the words things blowing up. And that's not the only thing happening on Friday night. The moon moves again, and she moves across the sky and the constellation of Sagittarius. So the moon enters Sagittarius. What do you think when you see that?
Sagittarius is exploration. I kind of view it as like the bungee jumper. If we have like at the party, the Gemini is the one like floating around talking to everybody, and the Sagittarius is the one that's wanting to like jump out the window into the pool or come on everybody, let's do this. Like it's the explorer. So this is going from that emotional intensity of Scorpio to more emotional exploration. So it's going from more what I was calling kind of that poker face, internalized but very intense, to now outward channeling into exploring that somewhere. So kind of what comes to mind here right now is kind of that move from potential to kinetic energy. So whatever that emotional stuff was cooking during the last 2 days when it was in Scorpio will actually move into more action and kinetic energy being acted on. So I'd look for movement because of this emotional shift.
Having a weird talk about serendipitous moments when I did this because I had to rush during my lunch break when I realized today, oh my gosh, it's Thursday or Tuesday. We're going to be doing our show, but I haven't done the monthly thing. I haven't prepped it. I've got to prep at least the next week for tonight's show. I did it. I was prepping. There was this conversation of there are no cats in America as the moon enters Sagittarius, and I was doing Friday, and there are no cats in America is from the American Tale. I know that might seem weird and random, but you just shared in that kind of to know where you're going, that bungee jumping into new realms, being bold, somewhere out there. That was the single
Yeah,
from that movie.
yeah, the little 5
Somewhere out there. And I think of the kittens and the cats and that, and oh my gosh, there's kind of a weird theme there happening. I'm wondering what the divination is going to be. Everybody, if you're joining us, let us know in the chat what divination you pull for Friday. Write down your predictions. What did you think? What did you feel? Ooh, 7, lucky, gamble, but of wands. So this is action, kind of lines up with that. Action and fire. What'd you get?
emperor.
Ooh, masculine, fire, also a yang energy. Okay. Dictator of your actions. What are you doing? This guy, I mean, what are you doing? Dur, 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 dur. What are you doing? What are you doing? What are we doing? Somewhere out there. How's the Artemis thing going? We didn't launch it.
No, it got delayed. I think it's delayed to Saturday now. Which
Something's
I'm
gonna
just going to
happen.
say, I haven't seen. We've done predictions. I haven't seen a lot of aspects here that I would say are like big macro scale type things. Although whatever day now, I'm losing track of my days here. Whatever day had the Libra opposite the Jupiter I feel like somebody's going to make some effort to kind of talk somebody down from doing something. Possibly, I always think like politically here, but it's like, don't do it, don't do it, don't do it. And that Jupiter energy, they're just going to go ahead, like, screw it, I'm going to go ahead and do it anyway. So I feel like maybe somebody a little orange complected may decide to throw fuel on the fire, even though he's being encouraged not to.
It's going to be okay. I see where we're going there. And Dee shares in the chat room. She goes, man, I don't want to dispute you, but man, I think of wands as intentions. No disputes, no worries. For those who have joined us in the past and who will be joining us in the future for our tarot workshops when we do them, it usually works from this alchemy standpoint of the earth, water, air, fire. And so you've got your earth, water, air, fire. Your earth is your pentacles, your diamonds, your building blocks. Water is cups, the liquid of life. Air is your swords, and fire is your wands. And kind of in this realm and breaking down from that, that's kind of where it comes. But what you're doing, hopefully for certain, especially in forensics, is linked to your intentions. Hopefully. Yeah. And swords as thoughts and actions. Well, swords is associated with air magic, which is like Mercury, and the astrology that is our discussions, like the Mercury planet, right?
Mm-hmm.
Man, we could just talk about. I love tarot cards. We could
They
talk
both
about
can
that
beat.
all night.
They both can beat. One cuts you, one beats you. So like they're both, they're both yang. So
Yeah. And you can hear my children really having a fun time. They're watching something scary on VR for the first time. So I apologize. I've told them to be quiet. It just won't happen. I'm real. Anyway, okay, guys, Saturday. Let's focus. Get out that pen and paper. Let's look. Saturday, September 3rd. Friday is going to be a crazy day. Artemis, I really feel that coming forward. I feel that making its space. Two things are going to happen on Saturday. The first thing is the first quarter moon will be in Sagittarius. Okay, we already had the moon in Sagittarius. We kind of already know what that means, right? So that's just kind of harping on adventure, wanting to explore.
And you're the moon person more than me. We're in Virgo cycle, right? We're still new moon. We're still new moon Virgo. So yeah. So I feel this is always about like making sure Virgo energy. Always feel like I's dotted, T's crossed. It's all about details and making sure everything's done and double checking and think about the person that again. No stereotypes here on it, but I'm just thinking of like the person that might check to make sure their door is locked. Like double, triple check it, kind of thing. And so first quarter, so it's just moving through this journey of kind of assessing your life and making sure you have all the details done. I view this as like the exploratory piece of, okay, what I's haven't been dotted and T's haven't been crossed. And so it's like, where do I need to go to tie up all my stuff? And so that's kind of where I view this energy is. It's kind of that assessment of what do I need to go? What do I need to do to make sure everything's buttoned up real well?
I love that. I love the two references there. One to the moon pit stop. Someone said, I love that. It is like a pit stop. It's prepping. The kind of word of that day I had put down was to prep for the fall, prep for the trip. And I put an asterisk next to fall and trip because we are going into darkness, the Northern Hemisphere. This is where are we going? Democracy as it goes retrograde. Like it is an unguided territory, but like prepping for the fall and for the trip, not just the movement, but the scenario. And then the ritual suggestions and spirit guide, I put George Carlin because of the stuff that their shit is stuff their stuff is shit and your shit is stuff. That whole skit is really, really funny. And George Carlin has been showing himself quite a bit. So I have to mention that for Saturday morning. But one more thing is happening on Saturday. And it is kind of a moon movement, but something else is happening as well. Boom. Let's show that and see what we get for Saturday night. Saturday night, the moon is in Sagittarius. Yes, we know, but it's opposite Mars in Gemini. It's that same conflict. It rears its head again. What is it, Matt?
So this is an interesting one because I feel like this is possibly tension between emotionally where you're getting prompted to move versus what you may have publicly told others you were going to go. So it's kind of like, I always go with Gemini, that road less traveled. So you have the fork in the road. And so maybe you've talked to a lot of people and made it all indicating that you're going to make a left turn here. And all of a sudden you're having this emotional urge to explore the opposite of that. So you're having that tension of, you've articulated you want to go one way, everything you've outwardly shown is you're going in one direction, and you have this kind of emotional tug to explore that alternative.
I love the turn left, the jerk stop, like the last minute, like the juke in football. Like, this is something that I'm thinking of the physics of that, like the magic of that. You're moving, you have emotions on fire, fire and air. This is maybe a redirect of hot air, a redirect of reputation, integrity. People are going to be saying things to want to get you worked up. Hey, did you hear? It makes me think of the Bezos kind of treasure hunt going on in the great melt. As the ice caps are melting, it's like, who can find me the coolest minerals and stuff. There's a breathing and a redirection of hot air here that I think is very, very, very relevant.
And I view this kind of like in the Mercury or the Virgo aspects as well, that it's almost like that Virgo making you make a pause of, hey, I'm preparing to go this one way. I'm preparing to go this one way. Oh, wait. Let's go back, reassess, analyze. Maybe that other alternative isn't so bad. And so, yeah, it's just I feel it's like that tension of if anybody that's like pondering some decision, I feel like there's going to be a lot of like second guessing energy on Saturday.
Second guessing. Ooh, second guessing. I think that is going to be, let me write that down. Oh no, I'm off by one letter. Okay, there we go. Second guess. Okay, I pulled a card. I'm wondering what divination card you might pull for Saturday, because the energy there is really.
I got an awesome one for what we were just talking about. So I must have been very inclined or in tune. Which one is that? Is that 9?
9 of Wands.
Oh, I got Queen of Swords, which I always interpret as the Queen of Swords is that advisor that is just going to tell you brutally how it is, with like really no, like it's going to be really good advice, but it's like that sword, it cuts. And so it's going to be, you might not want to hear this, but I'm going to tell you how it is. And so I think that's kind of good energy as you're pondering which way to go, getting some advice from somebody that's going to tell you what to do.
I always think of Lagatha, the Queen of Swords, if you're a Vikings fan, like this very powerful woman, like a Meryl Streep, just like a Bette Midler, kind of like just a Cher, a very powerful, the sword tongue, sharp tongued, strong headed woman energy that's masculine. So it is that kind of Angelina Jolie, Laura Croft kind of force. And that, I think with the 9 of Wands, 9, I always think of 90%. So this anticipation, almost there, almost done. And Wands of action. So female, forward, taken over, all the battles, all the arguments, won. And now moving into the final spaces of what it is that's going to be finishing, topping off the completion of some of these projects you've had. Just kind of, you need to get it done. Finish the progress notes. Finish the discharges. Get that stuff turned in.
I was finding it interesting too. I just wanted to call out that the swords are the only one where the king and queen are not a couple.
They have different bedrooms in the castle.
Yeah, it's I forget exactly what the relationship is there, but it's not, the king of swords and the queen of swords are not they're not connected as a couple.
That's an interesting mention there.
I think I have to go back and look, maybe D or something. I want to say that almost like the Queen of Swords is a widow, possibly. I have to go back and look, but yeah, it's not. They're not connected. Whereas the other ones are all kind of coupled up. The swords are not.
Interesting mention there. We want to put that down for Saturday, the 3rd. And now one thing is going to happen on Sunday. Oh, this really gives you, I think, if you're someone who is interested in astrology, you want to see how statistics of psychology pans out into the psychic realm. This is it. Take one step out even farther and see that on Sunday, the moon enters Capricorn. So all of those feelings of all this exploration and opportunistic type vibe is suddenly going to go inward to, whoa, let me be mindful of what this is going to do for me. How do you feel that panning out?
Well, moon's the disclosure here. If anyone's new, I am a cat with a ton of Libra, so I'm probably a little biased towards those two signs. So yeah, Katie just said, is Meta Capricorn? Yeah, my moon's not Cap though. My moon's Taurus. So yeah, I view this as, you know, the little goat climbing the mountain. So this is accomplishment. So I view this shift of Sag to Capricorn of now you've done this exploration. How can you turn whatever you learned from that into accomplishing something? So, you know, you go from that deep emotional energy of Scorpio to, okay, what am I going to explore based on that? So you do the exploration, and now it's what can I achieve from that? So I do honestly feel as you go through these cycles, it all kind of moves in a constructive manner. And so that's where this is. Again, moon is very quick, so this isn't necessarily lasting energy, but you're going from that exploration to now how can I use whatever I've explored and investigated into turning into some kind of tangible accomplishment.
Man, the neurolinguistic discussion there in the chat room, or the suggestion of using the word comply. That's a really interesting thought, because it's the application of what you've learned from this journey, this recent, year and a half, 2-year journey. What are the takeaways? Capricorn wants to invest those seeds and know what it's learned. How do you know what you've learned? That's kind of an interesting thing.
And I know we started with Moon in Scorpio, and so I just wanted to call out, this is just my own view, world according to Matt, but I consider Scorpio and Capricorn probably the two most intense signs. And so you're having a lot, so just keep that in mind. So this is going to be, since it's Moon, there's a lot of emotional intensity this week. It's expressed in different ways, but you know you're having a lot of emotional energy in signs that I believe have a lot of intensity to them.
Love it. Yeah, it's going to be the word intense. You've used that a lot repetitively, and I think it's a really good piece for the weekend as a whole, both on a small and on a big. What are these predictions? What do you think is going to pan out, guys? See it as a whole for the weekend. Pull a card for the whole for the weekend to top off Sunday. Ah! Okay.
I got to pull one, and then Katie's got a very good question that hopefully we have enough time to hit, because that's a big one for her.
Does it matter if it's upside down? Oh, that is a good one. Yeah.
It doesn't for my steampunk ones, because the steampunk ones don't go in reverse. It's the way that they're on the back. You can always tell. But okay, so I got 3 of Pentacles. What did you get?
The Empress.
Okay.
The Empress. This huge female feminine, which with that moon in Capricorn, the internalization, the reflection, the deep thoughts and feelings, but this of like your life. I love how she's holding kind of a Ouija board planchette as her scepter. There's all sorts of really cool imagery in this. And then yours was the 3 of what?
3 of Pentacles. And so you see here is they kind of have their little blueprint out there, and they're kind of lining things up. So I always view this as like the planning card. So I think this is very good for Moon and Capricorn. This is kind of get your plans, get your strategy, get everything together, how you're going to execute stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And if these were upside down, it's not that suddenly the world is upside down and it's all negative and bad and we're going to burn. I take it as the good, the bad, and the ugly, and that everything, a popsicle. Well, what is it upside down? Well, it's harder to eat. It's still a popsicle. It's still in essence of what it is, but because it's more difficult to grasp, or because of the position that you drew it. But I often will see, the positive and negative. Because of the content of the card, not so much the position that it has been laid, but just the actual card in its entirety. I don't know if you feel the same way, Matt.
And I would add when I just started learning this, one of the guidebooks I was reading, and I found this kind of interesting, although I haven't done this a whole lot. They're like, they describe. I'm trying to find a good example here. Like, they actually like describe the picture if it's reversed. So like in this one, Six of Pentacles, where somebody is giving coins. Well, they might be giving coins, but the coins don't go to the person; they fall in the opposite direction. So it's kind of like intent to give something, but you're not going to receive it. Or, my favorite here, the Ten of Swords, they say, here it's, still kind of the defeat, but if it's backwards, not only do you have the swords in your back, but you're going to like slide down the blades. So it's going to be even more uncomfortable. So it's just an interesting way. And all the cards are different, but that was one thing that I try to take that I read in one of these guidebooks on the reversed one, is just try to interpret
the shadow,
what the picture is actually going in that reverse piece. And they're all kind of different. And so that's something just to keep in mind, Katie, is look at the picture on the card you have, and just, if you have it upside down, how does that change what that picture looks like?
Good. I love that. Yes, like and share, she says. Yes. Okay, guys, Monday. It's going to be September 5th. It's going to be Labor Day. A lot of people are not going to have work. People are going to be feeling like, they're not quite sure if the routine's off kilter or not. One thing happens, same for Tuesday, only one movement. That's kind of nice. But the one thing that happens on Monday, I think, is interesting for the timing. Interesting for it being a Labor Day, for it being a holiday about, work and overextending labor. And here we are. Venus enters Virgo. What do you think? This is for a while too, that Venus is in Virgo. How do you feel about
so
that?
I'm guessing there's going to be some retrograde there. I want to say hi to Jacine, if I remember. I think
Jacine,
from
hey!
Australia. So
Thank you for joining us.
Nice to hear from you. So this is interesting. So now you're getting that kind of emotional, romantic energy going from kind of all about me to all about details. So how I see this, and you as a Virgo might see this very differently. I see this as you might be seeing your partner or object of your romantic affection in a very critical light. This is kind of the energy of, oh my God, I hate the way he chews his dinner, or something. It's that little critical lens gets applied to that romantic piece. So it goes more from like, I want attention, to now I'm putting my attention on the other, but I'm seeing them in a very critical light. So I guess my advice would be, don't be too critical, because it can poison your or damage your overall like relationship. So just know that energy is there, and try not to like overdo it, because it could be damaging in the long run. Not that none of these energies are good or bad. It's just you got to be able to channel it the right way, and so make sure that analytical view doesn't become like too hypercritical of your partner.
This makes me nervous because my, Sun, Moon, Mercury, Venus, Earth, all of them are in Virgo. So I feel like this is gonna.
I have no Virgo, so it's easy.
This is gonna be a little deja vu for me, and as what you said there with that object of your affection. So whether or not it's your job, it's a person, it's your favorite coffee, you're gonna suddenly be like, I mean, it's great, but it's not good for me. Like, you're gonna start dissecting your sensuality. Oh, well, be very careful with that, as our society and even the chat room had mentioned some of these waves of sociological patterns. We're kind of moving into a depression. We're kind of moving into these spaces that, depending on how politics and things move, man, it could go dark real quick, and you've got to be very grateful. So dissecting your sensuality, throw them out. It's got a bruise. She's ugly. She has a single wrinkle on her neck. She's old.
I want to add, you could turn this to your advantage and use that analytical side to, if you make it a more empathic and knowing the little details. When you said the coffee, it made me think about it. If you know exactly how your partner takes their coffee, so make them a cup of coffee and make it exactly the way. Use that detail and knowledge of your partner to your advantage. You can use it to strengthen the relationship, not weaken it.
I love that. Yeah, good point. How to use it in a positive way. The Venus in Virgo, that's feminine on feminine. So being able to do it on an external service, that's a good balance. That's how the shadow work suddenly becomes masculine and yang-like, which is kind of fun to see it flip on a different space. Okay, guys, and that brings us to the very last shift of the week, which is next Tuesday, September 6th. I think a lot of people are going to actually be getting back to school, back to the fall routine, back to kind of, okay, what do I expect from the fall? Tax time, final quarter of the year. Let's nose to the grindstone. But it's going to be the moon entering into Aquarius.
Did we do a Monday card? I'm like off.
Yes, we didn't. Let's pull one real quick. Oh. What'd you get?
9 of Pentacles.
I got Queen of Pentacles.
I view 9 of Pentacles as this is kind of like the self-development card, in my opinion. This is kind of, again, you're like 90% of the way there. You're like 90% of the way towards kind of more financial and material accomplishment. So
yeah, work.
Self-development.
Queen. Work. Yeah. That's going to be powerful, guys. Don't be too hard on yourself. For Labor Day, really do take time to rest and don't dissect things so much that it's just ruined. Don't do that.
So lots of moon movements. I'd say, moon in Aquarius is the wild card. It's the rebel. It's the outside the box. So I think you go from accomplishment to how do I need to shake things up? So whether that's you didn't accomplish everything you wanted to and you need to change something, or whether you accomplish things and are not happy then with kind of how things look, but it's Aquarius is that kind of rebel and shake things up, change the landscape type energy. So you're going from accomplishment to kind of an agent of change.
Ooh. I like it that you use that change agent. It's kind of a psyops word there. Influencer. Aquarius is often, I always think of the DMV, the Aquarius. I think of kind of just being the check-in spot for air, being this kind of, emotional way of communicating. I see it as the person with the megaphone. Really, come on down to dishonest Dons and honest Johns. And it's like, they are the ringleader of the circus. And that rebel wild card thinking outside the box and changing the landscape is going to really be fun to see. Who is that speaking to us? And how do we feel about it? The card I pulled, pull a card. What did you get?
Well, I was in the middle of pulling one for, I think Ruth asked a question earlier, so I was just trying to slide that one in here because I know we were getting low on time. But ooh, you pulled this one earlier. I don't necessarily like this card. What did you get?
I got the Five of Pentacles.
Okay, yeah, I don't like that one either. I got the 7 of Wands, the defensive
gambler,
defensive conflict. So I feel like, dark night of the soul on your end and then feeling really defensive about it. So yeah, I don't view that as good energies.
Feelings of change, and it's going to be just after Labor Day. So I think that there's going to be a lot of environmental, space related, political things happening overseas as far as, we're in America. And so I think that on Monday, everyone's going to be out of the office, out of the loop, vacationing, their nose in a, book or something, and then come back to what they expect to be the fall routine. And like, okay, I'm really going to do the nose to the grindstone kind of thing. And suddenly be like, oh, water's not free. Can't do this. We don't have any lights. Like there's going to be a shift or a rule or a restriction. Like you said, a change agent completely influences how you move throughout the fall. What is this going to be? Write your predictions down. What do you feel like this is going to pan out to be, guys? Share with us in the chat room. And don't forget, share with us on social media because we want to see how stuff pans out. And this is the validation part of it, guys. This is what helps you feel a little less crazy and go, oh my gosh, we actually said that. We actually said that on the show. You can go back, you can see it, you get confident. You begin to say, oh, yeah, okay, I didn't exactly see that, but I predicted this. So I can kind of, you begin to track your awareness. So what do you say for the whole week, Matt, thinking on how September starts?
I'm thinking kind of a tough week. I'm thinking there's going to be a lot of bluster with the Gemini type stuff. So I feel there's going to be a lot of talk and, possibly threats, both with what's going on in Europe, maybe about, we're going to cut gas off. It's getting close to getting cold, or, we're going to do more things at the nuclear plant, and then, domestically with some of the political stuff we have going on here. So I feel there's going to be a lot of talk and like threats that's going to make things look ominous. I don't know if there's going to be a lot of action. So I feel almost like this is storm clouds on the horizon week of things are going to look kind of ominous, but I'm not sure a whole lot's going to happen yet.
It makes me nervous only because of that. When you say ominous, or the banging of war drums, or wet, 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 there have been all kinds of crazy online time travelers saying we're going to have worms coming out of the ground. We've had crazy online influencers, mass suicides, people saying that there's Jesus coming and that there's a huge flood, and weather and HARP and biological warfare. And suddenly in Mississippi and half of the country, they can't drink their water or touch their water or do anything with their water. And Indiana, we just lost one of our biggest oil refineries, blew up. I know you've been kind of watching some of the random, what we think might be guerrilla warfare type stuff of major things.
It's weird. It's not in the news, but when we had all the food plants going, and this is still going on, and Russia's having all these, and I'm sure it's saboteurs, especially now with that person getting killed in the car. It's very, very weird. There's a battery plant in the middle of Australia Australia. I was reading the chat for just in the middle of Russia that blows up, and then the next week you'll have a poultry farm in Arkansas that burns down, and then you'll look and see some other plant. So I don't know. I could be wrong here, but I almost feel like there's this sabotage back and forth that we're taking out. They're going after our food, and we're going after their industry, and so
it's a weird little thing that's happening. And we should keep our eye on it, and kind of in the peripheral and in the bigger, but then also see how it's affecting us on the small scale. So you guys, I know that some of those budgets and some of those just being aware of your day-to-day life and prepping and all of those little things, just feeling certainty. Hopefully that's what this show does for you. Provide you with a little certainty and awareness of what to expect in the week to come. If you'd like something a little bit more personal, something that breaks down your birth chart in comparison to the external astrology, let us know. I'm going to type in the chat room where you can find us. But if you have any questions, guys, let us know. Otherwise, it's every Tuesday at 9 p.m. Matt, where are we?
I have a new spread I'm experimenting with. So if anybody wants a reading on this
New how?
3x3 spread, which kind of is cool how it goes, you can message me at that email address. Also, Facebook, Astrology and Alchemy. You can do Sunday Night Dead, which is my other show, Sunday night. On Facebook, you can hit that one. Paranormal channel, go ahead and you can leave a message right there on the YouTube, paranormalsarah.com. I hope we got it all. Make sure, however you're seeing this, if you do enjoy it, share, subscribe. It all helps.
All the buttons. All the buttons. They're free. And you guys, again, if you want to stream us live on your app or your device, whatever it is that you like to listen to your things on, check out Odyssey Radio for our show and other really cool paranormal related shows. You guys,
we got big things. We still got the big things planned. I got to apologize. I've, my health stuff all summer has derailed and slowed us down, but I hope to be able to get these online. I've been kind of a waste shell of a human being for
we're real people, Matt. We're real people with, children and jobs and dishwashers and things. So we are doing it though. And we hope to, one of the things I know that we are really excited about is I'm still finishing up my Aries song list. If you guys have playlists that you feel, or songs that you feel really fit a certain zodiac sign, now is your time. Share them on our Facebook. Send us that YouTube link. We're having a ball with filling in those playlists for you.
And I'm struggling. If anybody's got ideas, I am struggling with, I don't want to say what I use for my characterization. I have them all done except for Libra and Sagittarius, which actually surprises me that those are the two I'm having the hardest time finding songs for. But
okay,
I don't even have 10. Some of these other ones I had 30 that I had to trim down. Libra and Sag, I don't even have 10 songs. So I'm struggling.
I did 30 Earth, Water, Air, Fire, and then sorted them. So that's kind of how I did it. But
I do mine. It's very weird. So I'll do mine. You know me. I do my matrix, and so then I'll take three characteristics of the sign, and then I'll score them of how well do they meet those characteristics, and that's how I get it.
Gosh, you're amazing, Matt.
So Aries, it's aggressive. So it's aggressive, impulsive, juvenile. Those would be because it's the earliest sign. So
Oh my
that's how I
gosh.
rated
This is
my
why we
area.
need this is why we need you, Matt, in our astrology breakdown every week. You give us such objective readings. It's not even funny. But that's also why if you guys want a personal reading, Matt and I will do those and put both of our special touches on it for you. But until next week, guys, every Tuesday at 9 p.m. Central. We'll see you then.
Sounds good. Have a great week, guys.